So today I got a bit of a preview for you guys because it's going to be a busy week coming up on the UK and the US stock market. So I'm going to give you what you need to look at going forward and what you need to keep an eye on because there's going to be some big moves happening. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you could hit like button, if you're around here, subscribe. Let's get started. So on the Monday today, we have a pretty quiet day. Well, in my opinion, it's a quiet day. Still some interesting companies that are going to be reporting though. On Summit are going to be reporting. Philips, Ford are reporting. Some people like looking at Ford numbers. Waste Management, that's a really good business that I actually don't talk about too much on the YouTube channel. VF Corp, nothing too much here on the US earnings side on the Monday. But when we get to Tuesday, yeah, this is going to be a big one, especially on the morning. I think this is Tuesday's video sorted out. We've got SoFi that are going to be reporting on the morning of Tuesday. So that's an interesting one. One stock that I own. It's been on a very good rally at the moment. As you can see here, the last couple of months, the stock has exploded. Last month, it's up 38%. In the last 6 months, up 55%. And in the last year, up 59%. So SoFi has outperformed the S&P 500 over this time frame, which is very good to see. Looking at the numbers that are expected, yeah, I think they'll do quite well. I mean, the good improvement on the EPS from negative 0.29 up to positive 0.04, which will mean 4 quarters of profitability, which is great for inclusions into the S&P 400 mid caps if they do go in there. Sales growth from 19%. I think they'll probably be a little bit higher than that, in the 20% range, so we'll see what happens. What's quite surprised me is this Q4 guidance. I would expect a bit of an upgrade here. 0.03 EPS expected. I would expect that around more like 0.05, 0.06. Revenue growth of 7%. I don't know if there's some glitch going on here with Yahoo Finance. They have got a little bit rubbish with updating the numbers. I'd expect that to be a lot higher than that. I don't know if there was like a one-off payment in the last quarter or something, why the growth is looking a little bit smaller there. I guess there was a bit of a jump in sales growth from where we were at. I don't know. That just looks a little bit weak to me. So we'll see what guidance they give there around there. And then obviously PayPal. So PayPal's another big one for me. My third largest position. What a time this has had as well in the last kind of month. The last 6 months up 21%. In the last year today up 32%. And in the last year up 62%. So outperforming the S&P 500 as well, which is good because I remember on like 3 or 4 months ago, there was a lot of people messaging me like, you know, when's PayPal going to do something? It's just not doing anything. And I guess that's why you got to have patience. You know, you got to have patience because you just don't know when Wall Street are going to pick up on these stocks and go, actually, this should be a lot higher than where it is. You just don't know. I mean, it's been obvious to me that PayPal should have been higher than where it is for like the last year, but it wasn't for Wall Street. And then the big money came in and they sent it a lot higher. 90 times earnings now, so that's a lot fairer. And, you know, that was the big thing that I always said is that they should at least be 20 times earnings. And I guess it's nearly there. But if the profitability keeps going up and up and up, then obviously that will make it cheaper and cheaper, so we'll keep an eye on that one. But yeah, being a very good performer. Looking at the numbers, the EPS is expected to go down slightly from a year ago because they had the one-off positive charge they had for selling off a business. So we'll be looking at non-GAAP EPS numbers when they do report. On a revenue estimate basis, we are expecting 6% revenue growth, which I think they should beat 6% revenue growth. If this company isn't growing like 7-8% a year, that's probably where I'd sell it off because I'll want a bit more growth than that. So I'll be looking at the guidance. Q4 looks very strong though. I mean, they're expecting 12.8% revenue growth. I know it's a Christmas period, but that looks incredibly strong for me. So we'll see what guidance PayPal give around that one. And then we'll see if we get any guidance for 2025. I don't know if we'll get it this time round, but it'll be interesting to see where they expect to be because that's where I would like to see that 7 or 8% revenue growth and see where they kind of come in at. And also from an EPS point of view, because we want to see the EPS going up because we want to see the stock dropping on a PE ratio basis, and obviously we want to see those share buybacks kicking in. So if the stock drops to like 16-15 times earnings, I can say, hey, we should at least be 20 times earnings, and that's why the stock rallied last time, and hopefully it happens all over again. So we'll see what happens there. A few other interesting ones. BP, interesting oil stock. A lot of people looking at the moment. McDonald's, they probably give some commentary around the E. coli situation. Pfizer, a lot of people interested in Pfizer. Royal Caribbean, people will be looking at travel. JetBlue, Crocs, after close, AMD, Google, Alphabet. This is obviously one I own, but this can be so volatile. Like sometimes it goes down on good earnings, and sometimes it goes up on bad earnings. So I just don't know what's going to happen with Google. I'll just kind of look at the numbers and see from there, but it does tend to move a fair bit. Snapchat, that's a volatile one. That moves a lot all the time. We've got Visa. I would like to buy more Visa if it was the right value. On the Wednesday, we've got some Caterpillar, and the close is a big one. Wednesday close, I mean, you've got Microsoft, Meta. I mean, I was looking at Meta the other day, and it's gone back up to more of a premium of 29 times earnings. But you look at the numbers. I mean, they're expected to go from an EPS of $4 up to $5.24, which is a good improvement. And if you look at the growth, like 20% growth a year, that's actually not too bad for 29 times earnings. So we'll see what happens there over at Meta. Coinbase, Robinhood, they should do very well with how bubbly the market has been at the moment. Etsy, I used to own that, and then I got a bit concerned and I dumped it off a nice bit of profit. I'm glad I did, because a little bit worrying what's going on there. Roku and Starbucks, obviously they've kind of already brought the preliminary earnings out. We've got Uber. I'd like to own Uber on the Thursday morning if it was the correct value. Peloton, I actually think there must be a successful business under there somewhere. Estee Lauder's reporting on the close. Amazon, you know what? Amazon's getting a little bit more interesting to me. I'm looking at the numbers here and I'm thinking, we'll keep watching that one and see where that one goes. I think if Amazon could just go a little bit lower, that would be interesting for me. Apple, looking at the iPhone sales. Intel, Atlassian. And then Friday, a little bit more quieter. Normally we have DraftKings on this day, but for some reason DraftKings have decided to report a week later. So normally my Friday video would have been the DraftKings earnings, but it's not going to be this time. So that's why it'll be probably the US stocks I'm buying on Friday, and then we'll get DraftKings the week after. On the UK side of it, there's a few companies reporting on the UK side of it. Obviously BP as well. Hey, HSBC, Softcat, we've got Glencore, we've got Aston Martin, Next, GSK, Shell. The big one I'm going to be looking at is this one here, YouGov. YouGov is one I own. I started buying this stock and then it got hit by a profit warning, which I think was actually on my birthday, which was not great, because I turned 30 and I thought, okay, here we go, start of a new decade. And I woke up and then saw one of my stocks had been slapped like 40-50%. I was like, welcome to your 30s. So it got slapped on a profit warning. I did buy the dip and it did start bouncing up a little bit, and then it's given it all back and it's actually lower now than after its profit warning, which is quite surprising. Looking at Stockopedia though, I mean, it's got a really good track record. You look at this revenue growth, really good track record of revenue growth, profit growth, good track record of profit growth, as you can see here. You can see the dip in profitability though at the moment because of the profit warning. But if they do rebound in the revenue and they do rebound on the profit point of view, and that profit does start coming back, you talk about 14 times forward earnings on 2025 numbers, 10 times earnings. You shouldn't really be getting a company at 10 times forward earnings that's going to be growing 15-20% a year. Shouldn't really happen. So I don't understand what's going on with the price of YouGov at the moment. I mean, they did bring a little bit of an update out and everything did look a bit more positive then, and then it's just sold more and more of it off. So yeah, if they come out with a good update on Wednesday, I'd probably start buying some more shares back in it, because it probably shouldn't be down here. But the market's going to be moving big on the UK side of it, because we're going to have the budget on Wednesday. So the UK market will be moving off that big time. A lot of people ask me like my thoughts on what's going to happen with the budget, and I don't know. There's only a few people that know what's going to happen, and the rest of us are just trying to bring out our crystal balls and try and guess what's going on. And I mean, we know it's going to be bad because that's what's priced in. The UK markets have priced in a pretty bad budget at the moment, and that's why UK stocks are being a bit crap at the moment. We just don't know how bad it's going to be. So if it isn't as bad as what we think, the UK stock should rally up a little bit. And if they've been making it seem a lot worse than what it's actually going to be, and then there's also the potential that it's worse than what we even thought it were going to be, and then the UK stocks go even lower. We just don't really know. We have to just wait and see, and I'll probably end up covering that on the Wednesday. But I am concerned. I mean, over the weekend there was an article came out that Keir Starmer claimed that anyone who owns shares is not a working person, which is crazy. I thought this was a fake article. I had to Google it myself, and it was true. And I couldn't believe it. Like that Keir Starmer, we have a PM that's calling me and you not working people just because we own shares. I just can't believe that he would come in with that sort of attitude. That's his thoughts on it. Technically most people own shares because a lot of your pensions do get invested into shares. But also, why are people that own shares not classed as working people? Like the people that are investing in shares quite often still work 9 to 5 jobs. just because they are investing into shares doesn't take them out of being a working person. These people that are doing this are probably still having to work to get most of their income, and all they're trying to do is go, you know what, I don't want to rely on my pension or the system when I get older. I want to have a bit more money. They're doing the research, they're spending time learning how to invest, what to invest in. They're taking that risk within investments, and yet they get punished for it. The people that are trying to bet themselves and also take a load off the nation as well, they get punished and talked down by the current PM, and I just can't believe it. It makes me nervous that we have a prime minister that thinks like this, and the fact that he said this over the weekend was just shocking. I nearly made a video on it myself, like talking about this, but yeah, and that's what makes me worried about the budget, is that if this is their thought process, then I am worried what comes out on Wednesday, but we'll see what happens. They might have been just having us on all this time. I don't think that's the case, but we'll see what happens on Wednesday, and I'll probably talk about it. So yeah, it's a very, very busy week. I mean, it's not often I know what videos are going to be on the upcoming week. I know that on Tuesday I'm probably going to talk about SoFi and PayPal. I know on Wednesday I'm probably going to be talking about the budget. Thursday is probably going to be a big catch up with all these earnings that have happened. And then Friday I'm going to be doing the US stocks I'm buying series for November 2024. It's not often I know all my videos in a week's period, but there's that many big news stories that I think that's where we're going to be at. But you never know, there might be some surprises there that we might not be aware of that might throw a big curveball. But yeah, there's a lot of news stories. It's a busy one. This is a busy time when you're a stock market investor. So have a good sleep tonight, because you'll need it, because the rest of the week is going to be absolutely chaotic. So we'll see what happens anyway. So yeah, I'll probably see you tomorrow when I'm talking about SoFi and PayPal's earnings. Let's see what they've got anyway. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you could hit the like button, if you're new around here, subscribe. I'll see you in a bit.